Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the Book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, I'm glad you asked. The book I've read this week is called Bad Blood by author Lyndon Stacey. Lyndon Stacey is a writer and an animal portrait artist, and this is a mystery with an equine theme. Published in the UK on the 2nd of May 2023 in hardback. So relatively recent. So what's it all about, I hear you say? Well, the story kicks off with freelance journalist Ben Copperfield. Ben's on his way home when he sees a lady struggling with a couple of horses. She's been forced to come off the road, and she's got a horse that's running loose. So Ben helps the lady helps the lady to recapture the horse and gives her his business card. Now, it turns out this lady's called Sarah Manning. She's married to Neville Manning, who is the CEO and founder of the Archer Speedboat Powerboat Company, a very, very wealthy man. Later on, Ben gets a call from Neville, Sarah's husband, A, thanking him for helping Sarah with the horse, and B, telling him that he's got a little job that needs somebody with an investigative journalist background that he could possibly help him with. So they make an appointment and Ben goes to see Neville the next day. And it turns out that Neville is ill. He's dying with cancer. And he's looking for an heir to the throne, if you like, to take over the family business. His only son, Hayden, was killed in a climbing accident a few years previously. So there is no one immediately that could take over the business. And he doesn't get on with his brother, or indeed his brother's children, who he feels neither of them are capable of running the family business. There is one glimmer of hope. His son Hayden, with a few of his university mates, had a tour one summer of folk and rock festivals, and it appears that Hayden had a dalliance with an enchanting Irish folk singer called Ailidh, spelled E-I-L-I-D-H. So apologies to Irish viewers, I hope I pronounced that right. And it turns out that a few months after that summer, Ailidh turns up to see Mr. Manning, saying that she's pregnant by Hayden and is looking for money. She's sent off with some money, but basically told to go away. Mr. Manning, Neville, realises that if this lass was pregnant, then by now she's clearly had a child, and that child will now be in his teens and potentially an heir to the family fortune and the family company. So he's already employed 2 private detectives to try and trace Ailidh and the child, but drawn a blank. So he's asked Ben, he says, you're an investigative journalist, this is probably right up your street. Ben thinks, well, A, he might never find her, she's part of a travelling community. B, if she's had a child, who knows what's happened to the child. So, this is clearly a tricky task, but nevertheless, he likes a challenge, so he takes it on. And soon begins tracing leads. He speaks to some of Hayden's ex-university pals, and one of them does remember the girl and remembers the environment in which she was in. And soon he begins to track down Ailidh and the child. And it turns out, yes, she did have a child, and it's a boy, and he's alive and well. And that's when the fun starts, because clearly other people are after the child as well. And Ben starts getting threatening notes and people following him. And all of a sudden, there's a bit of a mystery here. And that entangled with things that have happened in the past that aren't quite clear, and other people that aren't quite who they seem to be, makes this a nice, tight little mystery. So I enjoyed reading it. It's 280 pages, not too heavy. It's a fairly straightforward mystery. As I said, there are people that aren't as they seem, and there are things in the past that add to the mystery. And basically, it's a quest for the missing boy. If you like, it's an equine-based mystery. If you're a Dick Francis fan, you'll certainly enjoy this. I felt it took a while to get into it, because you had to get used to the character of Ben. And initially there was, an introduction as to what was going on, and there wasn't a whole lot happening. It wasn't until Ben hit the road, started chasing the leads down, that it got interesting. So a little bit slow to start. So I'd give it 6 out of 10. It'd be a great holiday read. You know, it's not too taxing. It's not. There are no, lots and lots of twists and turns. It's a relatively straightforward mystery, but nevertheless, an entertaining read, and I'd certainly recommend it for a holiday read at least. So that's it for today's brief book review. 10/10. So we do it again. Thanks for watching. Bye.